Hi there, good morning. Welcome to Rappler Talk. I am your host, Boris, Joaquin, and we normally interview influential and thought leaders in this session on Rappler Talk for the career and lifestyle section. Well, for today, we have a treat for you. Those of you who've been following Rappler Talk for the time being in any business-related topics, we'll be featuring the co-author of the book, Coaching for Breakthrough Success, Dr. Peter Chee. I encountered him when I bought this book 3 years ago, and one of the life-changing topics that is covered here is how do you discover happiness through coaching? How do you lead other people to discover happiness and deliver results through coaching? At this point, I'd like to introduce to you to the person that I'll be conversing for the next 30 minutes. His name is Dr. Peter Chee. Welcome to Rappler Talk, Peter.
Hey Boris, thank you for having me here. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, just for our audience to know you better, he is the President and Chief Executive Officer of ITD World. ITD stands for Institute for Training and Development. And ITD has been, how long has it been in business?
It's been since 1984.
And you did share to me a while ago that your father was the founder of
Yes.
ITD, right?
Yes, indeed. So, when I left school at the age of 17 years old, that was 1987. That's when I joined, and that's been 30 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Peter here is probably the only Asian ranked as top among the coaches in the world, right? The top 6, you're the only Asian in that ranking, right?
Yes.
And it's still standing up to now.
Yes,
And-
I'm so thankful for that.
And how did you end up being a coach?
Well, my story started at a really young age when I was a teenager. As far as I can remember, probably 12 years old. My first coach, can you guess who?
A basketball coach?
Not really.
No, go ahead,
I
go
had
ahead.
swimming coaches, I was in sports, but my first real coach was my dad.
Oh, okay.
So he started asking me all kinds of questions that prompted me to think and reflect about my future and my life. He asked me things like, what are you passionate about? What do you want to achieve when you grow up? What do you want to be? What do you want to do? What do you want to have? And he kept on asking me. It's like repetitive questions, but it got me to keep on pondering and thinking. And so over time, I began to search for those answers and begin to discover my talents, my passions, and what I really wanted to do in my life. And then finally, at that defining moment, he gave me a piece of paper. He said, my son, please write it down. Now that you are clear, you know what you want to achieve, what you want to be, what you want to do. And so I wrote it down as a very, obedient son. I wrote it down after he coached me. And then many, many years after that, when I even totally forgot about it, he brought out the piece of paper and he showed me. He said, look at this. I was kind of surprised. I said, whose handwriting is this? It was when I was like 12 years old, and I wrote down all my life goals and things I wanted to achieve. And when I looked at it, I was really amazed. I was really moved because I had achieved every single one of them. And way beyond that, even much more than that. On that piece of paper I wrote down, I said, I want to be a doctor of management, I want to travel the world, I want to be an author, I want to be a trainer, I want to be a CEO, I want to have a beautiful wife, I want to have a dream home by the beach near the hills in a beautiful island. I've achieved all of that plus much, much more. And I think I'm truly grateful and thankful to my dad for being my coach.
Including the house in a beach island?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I have a home in Penang Island.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a home that's just facing the sea, and walking out to the beach is just a 2-minute walk out to the beach, and I see beautiful sunrise. That's where I also do my coaching in the early mornings.
Wow.
During weekends. I volunteer, I help people.
So your dad was coaching you. Was he aware that he was coaching you?
Yeah,
Was
of course.
he a coach
of
at
course,
that time?
yeah.
Okay.
He was a leader, a coach, and as well as a corporate trainer.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you put all those things together at the young age of 16.
Yeah, I think I applied it more for myself,
Okay.
and I focused on achieving my dreams and my goals, and I was able to do it. And once I've achieved it, then I became a role model. I started to teach other people, and I
Okay.
seek out to learn from the very best. So I found my way to attend every single seminar of top coaching gurus and leaders and management gurus like John Maxwell, Jack Canfield,
Yeah.
Brian Tracy,
Yeah.
Anthony Robbins. All those people I seek out to learn from. I ask them to be my mentor, my coach, and they've been very kind to me. They've taught me a lot. Some of them have allowed me to work with them personally. We have written books together. It's been an amazing journey. I mean, I'm really thankful to all those people because starting from my dad and all the other top gurus that I've learned from, I would not have come to where I am today if I had not had the opportunity to be coached and mentored by them. So
That's really wonderful to know, Peter. Just to know that your life is basically molded by people who's been mentoring and coaching you.
Yes.
Coaching, as you know, It's a people skill that everybody would like to develop. I think there was a time, well, you can correct me if I'm wrong. There's a time that coaching was really like a big buzzword in the business community. Like
Yes.
everybody needs to be coaching. Like coaching is the solution to almost everything. Like it's the next best thing to slice bread. And what's the fascination behind coaching? Why is people so drawn to the approach, to the method?
Yeah, first of all, let's distinguish between coaching and mentoring.
Good, yeah.
Mentoring, you're a subject matter expert. It's about sharing your knowledge, skills, your experience, your connections with the mentee. Whereas coaching is different. Coaching is about empowering people, unleashing human potential, and helping people to discover their own solutions. So that is really what coaching is. You don't tell people what to do, you don't give solutions. In the professional world, working world of coaching it's about empowering people, helping them find their own solutions, and from there they have a strongest sense of ownership and commitment to take action to deliver results. And as a coach, we do that not by telling, we do that by listening. We listen 70% of the time, and 30% of the time we are asking great, powerful questions to unleash the potential from within the coachee, and we are encouraging them, and we're giving them feedback, we're supporting them, we're making them feel stronger and more capable. You know, I always love this quote from one of my idols, Zig Ziglar. He said, to be a champion, you must first feel like a champion. As a coach, when we coach our coaches, we make our coaches feel like a champion. And when they feel like a champion, they can act like a champion, they can do things, and they can have the discipline and the commitment to deliver on the results like a champion. So that's what we do as coaches. We empower people, we make them feel like a champion.
And mentoring does not empower as much as coaching.
Coaching empowers a lot more because mentoring, you are sharing what you know, what you have done, what you have seen. Whereas coaching, you're bringing out that potential from within that person. And coaching so many people, you know, even average performers right all the way to top performers and top management, what I found is that human beings have unlimited potential. It's just amazing. Even when I coach top star performers, and when I believe in them and I ask them powerful questions and I encourage them and listen to them, they realize that suddenly they're capable of doing much more than they ever imagined, even if they are top performers. So I would say in average, right, human beings tap less than 10% of their potential, and I have not seen anyone who has tapped 100%. Even the best performers in the world still have a lot of potential to be tapped. So that's what we do as coaches, we bring the potential out from people.
And coaching does that, it draws it out, right? I love what I'm hearing from you. Both my parents are educators, and they did teach me there's two approaches in educating people. It's either it's barrel filling or barrel emptying. And you seem to be describing coaching as barrel emptying. Is that true? Is it pulling it out from them?
Indeed so. And if you look back in history, Socrates was one of the greatest teachers of all times. Socratic way of teaching, the way he teaches students is not by giving them or telling them what to do, it's by challenging them, asking them questions, and bringing out the best in them. That's back to Socrates, how he taught his students, and he had brought up some of the best thinkers in the world.
So mentoring, in a way, if I'm going to deduce from what you said, is like telling people what to do. It's like giving them direction, sharing,
your knowledge,
imparting,
your
transferring
skills,
knowledge.
being a role model.
Coaching is big part listening, and then 30% asking the right questions to actually draw it out
Asking
from
questions,
them.
encouraging them, giving them feedback,
Okay.
summarizing, paraphrasing what they have said to confirm that you get what they're saying. You know, mentoring is powerful, but coaching is unlimited power. You know, all over the world I go, when people approach me, people ask me, hey, can you be my mentor? I've been mentored by so many people, so obviously a lot of people ask me too. And I would love to help, but when I ask them, what's your area? What area would you like me to mentor you on? So I then say, hey, I'm in the area of supply chain. I said, that's not my area of expertise. I couldn't mentor you on that. Some people said, hey, I would like to go into area of automation and digitization. That's also not my area. So I stick to my area. I've only like a couple of areas where I mentor people to be a good CEO, to be a strategic thinker, to write books, to be a coach, to be a trainer. Probably a handful of things I could mentor people. So although mentoring is powerful, but it's limited, coaching is unlimited power. Why I say unlimited power is because you can coach your subordinates, you can also coach your peers, you could also coach your boss, and if you bring that into your life, you could also coach your family members, your parents, your siblings, even your own husband or wife. But I should have to say, if I were to say coaching is like climbing a mountain, then coaching your own spouse, husband or wife is Mount Everest. It's the most challenging.
It's the most challenging coachee that you could ever have. Okay.
Indeed so.
I hope my wife is listening right now. But I like what you're saying. So mentoring is powerful, but coaching is unlimited power.
Yeah,
So,
and I have coached people from all walks of life. People from all different industries, from manufacturing to FMCG to hotels, hospitality. and all industries. And one day I was coaching the CEO of a hospital, and he was telling me, Dr. Groshu was telling me, hey, today I want to talk to you about the operating theater, open heart surgery. I don't know anything about it. There's no way I could mentor him. But I listened to him very carefully, and I used my intuition. I asked him really powerful questions. At the end, he came up with solutions. He's able to improve the efficiency of the operating theater in a hospital, which is the heart of the hospital. And he got value out of my coaching. So I typically what I'm trying to say is that coaching, if anyone desires to be coached and is coachable, you can coach them and you can unleash their potential, because there's unlimited potential in people, and that's why I say coaching is unlimited potential.
Yeah, that's another good description point. You're saying that you don't have to be a subject matter on the particular industry or expertise. You can coach just about anybody if you know how to approach it.
Yes,
right?
correct.
Now, you've been coaching for quite some time, right? And who are the popular people that you've coached? Is that something that you can reveal on air?
Well, typically I don't, but then they are typically C-level, CEOs, business leaders, department heads,
Top corporations
and star performers, top performers.
Okay.
I typically, give different names because, I have confidentiality agreements with my clients, so I don't reveal the actual names. I typically don't do that. Yeah. So
I'm just curious. Like you talk to a CEO, you sit down with them. Let's say a power hour of an hour from 12 to 1. Then you converse, and then you start asking questions, and then you get paid out for doing that, right? So as an executive coach or a strategic coach, they pay you for the hour, or I don't know what your meter is. But hasn't anybody reacted to your coaching method and say something like, I'm the one who came up with all the answers, so why do I have to pay you?
good question. I actually do a lot of volunteer coaching. In fact, during the weekends in the early morning at sunrise, I coach people for free. They'll come to my home, we'll walk on the beach, see the beautiful scenery, breathe the fresh air, and I will coach them, and they will discover their life purpose. There will be people who come with breakdowns and crises in their life. There will be others who come with very big dreams and vision. I would coach any one of them. And I do that regularly. I volunteer because I feel a sense of joy and fulfillment doing that. No amount of money can give me that kind of satisfaction. But apart from that, yes, people do engage me as a coach, and sometimes I do feel like I should be paying them because, I learn so much from them, right? Indeed so. But the value they get is that when they feel empowered and their potential is unleashed, they could do so much more. They could turn around the organization, they could change the culture, they could achieve breakthrough goals, they could turn their impossible dreams to become possible. All of that is done through coaching. So it's the results is absolutely astounding.
Yeah, you could almost say, like, if I didn't ask you the right question, you would have come up with the right solution.
Yeah. And you know what? I myself have coaches. I continuously seek out coaching, and I believe in this principle that a coach still needs a coach. Just as a doctor still needs a doctor, I don't think a doctor could treat his own family or children. So if you are a coach, you still need a coach because you have areas to improve, you have blind spots, you need people to listen to you and support you. But above all of that, you still need to be a role model, because if you tell people, hey, coaching is good, come for coaching, they'll be looking at you and say, hey, Boris, if you say that coaching is good, who is your coach? Do you receive coaching? So coaching is two-way, give and receive. So I always believe in receiving coaching, and so I have my clients coach me, I have my friends coach me, I have my team members coach me. And you know what I realized? Every time they coach me, my level of power of my thinking and my innovativeness just keeps going to a whole new level, higher and higher and higher. My achievements keeps going beyond my own expectations every time when people coach me. Because I know they are unleashing my potential, and I want to unleash as much as my potential. So I think very carefully, I figure out solutions, I think of game-changing, innovative ideas, and I keep on working on it and getting the best out of coaching. So if one believes in coaching, you can get the best out of it, and you can get the coach to actually unleash your potential. It's really just awesome.
I want to hold that thought. I love the fact that that it helps the thinking process, and it builds up innovativeness and even maybe perhaps creativity.
Yes.
I just want to step back a bit. You did mention about coaching, basically listening and asking questions.
Yes.
And then mentoring is basically giving directions or telling them what to do or transferring knowledge. When's the right time to actually do one or the other?
I think you could do both, but if you really want to get the power of coaching, you need to have a different conversation, because the mentoring conversation and the coaching conversation are totally quite opposite.
Yeah.
Typically in a mentoring conversation, who do you think asks the questions? It's
really
the mentee.
mentees,
The mentee wants to know. Mentee asks questions. Who is the one sharing, telling stories, giving examples, sharing wisdom? It's a mentor. And who is the one listening? The mentee is the one listening. But in a coaching situation, the coach is listening, the mentee is talking, asking questions is by the coach. So if you look at these two conversations, they're quite directly the opposite. Yeah? So it's quite different. So mentoring is when someone has a gap, knowledge and skills, and needs a role model, someone to guide and show the way. Yes, then we're looking for a mentor. But over a certain time when people begin to grow and develop, they already know, they understand, but then they want to figure out their own way. They want to come up with their own ideas and develop their thinking and their capabilities and be a smarter person, be a more creative person, be a more resourceful person. Then it requires a coach. So I think a person could do well with a coach and a mentor. I'll give a story of Edwin Johnson. I mean, we wrote a book together. He first asked me to be his mentor. So I mentored him for 2 sessions. I shared with him everything I knew about writing books. And so he went about the journey of writing the book, but then it took him like 9 months journey. So at the end, Edwin still engaged a coach to help him through the journey to see that he gets the plan, he executes it, he follows through, and he encounters roadblocks, he overcomes them. He works with a coach. For me as a mentor, I did help him, but only for like two sessions.
Yeah.
So mentoring is helpful, it's useful, but there's only a certain extent where you can mentor someone. Beyond that, you have to rely on their capability, their potential that is in them, inside them. People's passion, people's strengths and capabilities are all in them, is all within them. And
So
that's huge, that's really huge.
So it's almost like a process. So if the person is like new, a beginner,
Yes.
and needs guidance, like you said,
Yeah.
I could begin with a mentoring conversation
yes.
approach,
Yes.
and then later on move to coaching.
Yeah.
How do you know when you can transition now?
Well, if you already shared whatever you know with the person,
Okay.
and the person is already learning and it's already given, then you have nothing more to give. It's already been transferred. Then now the person needs to find his or her own way and go beyond his or her own expectations. Then, changing of behaviors, changing of habits, and achieving goals, moving towards, getting breakthrough results. All of that requires coaching.
Okay, beautifully said. Now, I like what you've been saying about it helps in the thinking process. Why do you think coaching does that? I mean, why is asking the right question leads to effective and powerful thinking?
Yeah, I think I can just give you my favorite quote here and that will explain it all. Anthony Robbins is my favorite motivational coach and guru. He says, questions provide the key to unlocking our unlimited potential. So when you ask the right question, it prompts the person to either search inside or search around to find the answer. When a person discovers it, that is what we call the eureka moment. At that moment of enlightenment, he realizes it and he knows it. This is found in all inventors and people who discover things in the world. For example, Thomas Edison, known as the smartest man that ever lived, this is what he said about himself. He said, I have no special talents, I'm only passionately curious. Now, the thing about being passionately curious is that Einstein asked all the right questions to discover things that people never discovered, and he discovered it and he brought that to the world. So here is where, as a coach, again, with that curiosity, you are setting out there to discover about people, right? What makes them successful? What stops them? What blocks them? What are their limiting beliefs? What are the habits they need to win to achieve results? All these things are within people for you to discover. So questions actually lead to discovery. And then when you discover, that's when you get your light bulbs and your eureka moments that comes. So that's the power of questions.
What if the person is lazy to answer the questions?
You encourage them, you give them time to think about it, maybe time to do some research. Powerful questions typically is followed by a moment of silence.
Okay.
Sometimes even beyond that moment of silence, people need a bit of time to reflect. Sometimes I like to give people questions before the coaching session even, for them to think about, for them to ponder. And when they ponder about those coaching questions, they come in with even better answers and ideas.
Okay.
I typically, if I know I'm going to go for a coaching session with, let's say, Dr. Marshall Goldsmith, world's #1 leadership coach, before I go in, I know he's going to challenge me. I know he's going to ask me tough questions. So I think about it, what question he could ask me, what are the solutions. All that process of me really, really drawing out the best in myself. It really energizes me to do that.
Okay.
So it's the whole journey, actually. Asking questions is the whole journey of discovery.
So how do you encourage, say, a CEO that you're coaching, and then he goes weary or tired of the questions? Say, come on, Peter, just tell me the solution. Stop asking me questions. What do I need to do?
I don't know the solution because I'm not in their organization. I'm not the expert in their industry. So there is no way I could give the solution. So it's still got to come from them.
Okay.
In a worst case, if I have some clue, then I might suggest. I said I would get permission. Like, can I have your permission to suggest? And it's only a suggestion because I might be right, I might be wrong. So I'm using my intuition here and I'm asking questions, and if the coachee is stuck, maybe I could give a suggestion.
Okay.
And then I'll suggest, okay, Boris, why don't you consider would you consider option A, B, C? What do you think? I throw it back to you and you think. But I don't have the definitive answer. As a coach, I'm not the subject matter expert. I'm the process expert. I'm the expert in drawing out the best potential from the coachee.
I love that. You're
Yeah.
the process expert.
Yeah.
So you're taking them through the process and
Yes.
journey to discover their
Yes.
answers.
Yes.
Beautiful. Now, in your assessment in the marketplace, what's the level of acceptance, or how are people embracing coaching in general? Is it, I mean, full force? Have you seen it cascaded?
I think it's really phenomenal growth. I think
Okay.
organizations, especially those who want to achieve sustainable growth and competitive advantage, they see the advantage, the power of coaching in their organization, in their lives, and they embrace it, and they really, really have taken a very strong acceptance on coaching, and I see that really very encouraging.
Are organizations beginning to build a culture of coaching?
I think so. I see that. One great example is Google. Google has a chief of leadership development and coaching. Google has created a coaching culture. They have 8 habits of effective leaders, and number 1 on top of the list is coaching.
Okay.
So it's an organization that has been the employer of choice, has been a great place to work consistently for over 10 years. And coaching has been one of the master keys to success in Google.
Okay.
And so a lot of organizations see that, and then, it's a great role model. I think a lot of organizations are in the process, in the journey of creating the culture and figuring out actually how to do it.
How
Yes.
about companies that are born in Asia, which are typically authority-driven, hierarchical?
Yes.
How's coaching being
I think the
adopted?
change is going so fast, it's sweeping the world, because we are talking about Gen Ys and Gen Zs coming, and even Gen Xs. All these people, they prefer engagement rather than telling. I don't think anyone looks forward to come to work every day being bossed around and told what to do. Do you like that? Do you enjoy that?
Of course
I don't think,
not, yeah.
some people have just, older generation has just come to accept it, but they don't prefer it. There's always a better way. So if you look at Gen X, Gen Ys, and Gen Zs, in fact, they detest being bossed around. They want to be motivated and engaged by their leaders. So coaching is a way to inspire people, to influence them, and to empower them, not to keep telling them, giving them instructions, telling them what to do. If you keep doing that, then your people will start to lose ownership and initiative. They will not step up, they will not be proactive. What happens is a leader doing that will not be able to engage and empower the people well, and then eventually their people will not be able to lead themselves, and they can't take on more responsibilities on the leader. And what then naturally happens is that the leader gets into a trap. It's called the crazy busy syndrome.
The crazy
so
what?
Crazy busy syndrome.
Busy syndrome, okay.
So he or she starts to say, I'm too busy, I don't have time for coaching. In actual fact, it's the worst excuse ever given. It's not about no time, it's the lack of capability to coach. It's just going back to bossing all the time, telling people what to do, not being able to empower people and build up people's capability to think and solve problems. So the leader is always dependent on by the people to solve problems and to give answers. So imagine if you're a leader, if you're at home, if you're going for holiday, your people will not move. They'll be waiting for you, or they'll be calling you, asking you for answers, solutions, directions, and they will not move. And when they don't move, everything comes back to you. You get crazy busy, and you are in a trap of crazy busy syndrome. You don't get out of it.
Okay.
The way to get out of it is to master coaching, and then empower your people, delegate the work, and get out of the way. Let them learn. And it is through making mistakes that people will learn. It is through challenges that people grow the most. If you ask yourself, Boris, you think about throughout your entire life, when was the time that you learn the most and you grow the most? It's probably when you make mistakes and you learn from it, and probably when you took on biggest challenges. So in coaching, we allow people to make mistakes. As long as it doesn't kill them, it makes them stronger. We make them learn from it. We ensure that they keep getting better, and we give them challenges. Because the challenge is what brings out the best in them.
I love it. I love what you're saying. It's like invest time to save time. I mean, just to get out of the crazy busy syndrome.
Yes.
And coaching, most likely, if done well, can
Yes.
actually save you time.
Indeed so. Those people who are great coaches are leaders. I can tell you they are more strategic and they have free time to really have work-life balance, and they are great role models.
Okay.
That's the benefit you get out of coaching. I mean, you engage people, you get better results, you have high trust relationship with the people you work with, and you have more free time for yourself, for your family, and for recreation, and you have a more
Wonderful.
balanced life. So it brings a tremendous benefit to people.
Now, what are the challenges that you face from your clients when it comes to coaching? I mean, what are the difficulties? Especially, let's say, we go down to local companies, SMEs, startups.
I think difficulty is that wrong expectations, misunderstanding of what coaching is.
Okay.
What happens is a lot of people use coaching as a way of fixing people, and it's negative. oh, you got a problem, you need to change your habit, you have a performance gap, go for coaching. I think no one wants to be coached in that kind of situation. No one wants to be told that, I'm not good, I'm bad, I'm making mistakes, I need to be fixed. I don't think anyone likes that. But if you focus on positive emotional attractors, certainly you will make people open up to coaching and see the value and benefit. Coaching is adding value to people, empowering them, unleashing their potential, helping them to achieve their dreams. Who wouldn't want that? I was once asked by an executive vice president of Citibank to coach the assistant vice president. Her name is Sylvia. When she came in, she heard that her boss told me that she's a problem, she's got emotional issues, people are leaving because of her, she needs to be fixed. When she came in, she was very, very resistant with the arms folded, pointing at me and saying that she doesn't want to be coached. But you know what? I said, I understand and I'm with you, I'm fully on your side. I asked Sylvia, what is your dream? What is the goal that you want to achieve? She said, I want to use my strengths. I want to be appreciated. I want to be moving up to a VP level. I said, well, would you like me to coach you on that? What do you think her answer was? Yes. She started to open up the coaching. Her arms unfold. Her eyes begin to glow. She began to smile. She began to talk about what she wants and how she wants to get it. And as I began to move her there, she realized that there are certain things she wants to improve in herself. And she became self-aware. She was ready to transform herself. I didn't have to fix her. She was ready to fix herself. I just help her to create awareness, set the goal, something that's compelling, she wants to go for it. And after 18 months, she became a much better leader. The EVP told me, hey, wow, this is a success, and she's ready to promote her to VP level. But you know what? I did not tell him that I did not follow his instructions to fix Sylvia. I just unleashed her potential and helped her to achieve her dream, and she just got better.
And in effect, did fix her.
Yeah, but it didn't really fix her. She fixed herself. She was willing to change. Okay. So awareness and acceptance cultivate transformation. As coaching, we help people to be aware and accept that, hey, they want a brighter future, and they're compelled towards that direction, and they transform.
I love that. Can I just repeat that? Awareness plus cultivation.
Awareness and acceptance cultivates transformation.
Cultivates transformation.
Yes.
So basically what we do when we coach people is that we build self-awareness.
Yes.
We lead to self-discovery, and they solve themselves.
And they accept that, hey, this is not the way I want to be. I want to have a better life. If I go this path, it's going to lead to failure. It's going to lead to a lot of pain, which nobody wants. If I go on this path, I would have success, I would have happiness, I would have joy, and this is what I want. So when they realize it, they accept it, then they will move on the right path.
Okay. So what if I'm a client and I come to you and say, I want to measure the results of coaching, Peter?
Yes.
I mean, what's my measurement that it will succeed and it will really drive performance and this and that?
Yeah. I think there are three main domains in coaching, and in all these three domains, you can measure the results in all these three areas. One is I call performance coaching to achieve certain level of performance. It's definitely measurable. You set a goal and you measure. The second one is executive coaching, where you look at behavior and habit change. And can you actually track and measure behavior and habit change? Again, you can. The third area is life coaching. Life coaching, can you measure a person's balance and fulfillment and happiness in life? Yes, you also can. So all these three areas are measurable. Let's go to the first one, performance coaching. Performance coaching is about getting business results or results in whatever task or job that you're doing. So we sit down with the coachee and set their goal, make sure the goals are set to be smartest goals. Now, what do I mean when I say smartest goals? Specific, measurable, relevant,
attainable,
achievable, yes, attainable, time-bound, engaging, satisfying, and team-based. Smartest goal. If you help them to set the right goal, it will be already 50% accomplished. As a coach, I believe this. A goal that is well set is already 50% accomplished.
Okay.
And this goes way back to Abraham Lincoln. He was one of the first early people who said that. Today, I practice that. I believe so. When a coachee sets the right goal, it's already 50% accomplished, because the other 50% is just about doing in execution. The first 50%, is this what they really want? Are they fully committed to delivering it? So all those goals that are set, they are smartest, they are measurable, you can see the results. If someone says, I'm going to double my sales, you can measure the sales. If someone says, I'm going to double my cost saving, you can measure that. If someone says, I'm going to complete this project with this kind of outcome from the stakeholders in terms of scores and feedback evaluation, that is also measurable. Okay. So whatever it is, it's measurable. Now the second one, in terms of behavior change and habit change, is also measurable, because you can track people's habit and behavior, what they do, how often they do, right? Do they meet to their commitment? If I say, hey, I will read and I will learn, I want to have a learning habit. I want to read something in my area of focus and specialization for 30 minutes every day. You can actually track and measure whether do you actually do it. If you do it, After a couple of months, it's already there in you. You're already learning every day. It's part of your life. It's your habit.
Okay.
So you can actually measure that as well. So whatever it is, behaviors and habits are also measurable. But when it comes to life, then it becomes a little bit more subjective. We are able to measure on different aspects of people's lives and see how happy they are in each area, and looking at life in totality in terms of balance and sustainability for holistic happiness. So that is also measurable.
Wow, Peter, I
Yeah.
wish I had all the time in the world. I can talk with you for hours. After this, do you promise to coach me? Ask me right questions.
Why not?
Lead me to find solutions
you
in
can
my
even
life.
visit me, and we can walk on the beach at a sunrise, and we can have coaching.
I'll visit your
The
island.
midst of
But
nature.
before we do that,
Yeah.
let us wrap up in such a way that could help our viewers today about there's a big conversation about coaching helping them in their strategic direction. Like they're calling it strategic coaching. But actually, I think the way you define performance coaching is almost kind of similar.
Yes, indeed so.
What would benefit people if they approach their business and their entire corporation with a strategic intent of coaching people?
Yeah, I think if strategic intent, you have to see holistically the whole picture. When you see the whole picture, it's not only about performance. It's about performance, it's about behaviors and habits, and it's also about their life. All these are interconnected. If you want to make it sustainable and holistic, you want to coach people to have happiness and balance in their life so they do not break down, they do not burn out, they do not be overly stressed. You want to coach people so that their behaviors and habits will lead to happiness, fulfillment, will lead to sustainability and lifelong habits. You want to coach that to see that they can also achieve their results and KPIs. Combining these three together and applying that three domains of coaching will help build that strategic coaching practice in the organization. And finally, I'd say there's nothing better than top management walking the talk. The best form of leadership is leadership by example. So if CEO and C-level team, they are doing the coaching, executive coaching, life coaching, and performance coaching, they are giving coaching, they are also receiving coaching, they are great role models, they will begin to show the entire organization the power of coaching, and then everyone will begin to go alongside and follow. And soon enough, you'll see a great coaching culture emerging.
Beautifully said.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it. I hope you've learned a lot from today's conversation. Dr. Peter Chee, a renowned top-ranked executive coach, not just in Asia, but all over the world. Do you have a coach right now? Maybe you should be coaching the people who are following you. So I hope you've learned a lot of points, as much as I have. Thank you, Dr. Peter Chee. Thank
It's
you.
my pleasure, Boris.
I'll visit you in your island one of these days.
I look forward to that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dave.